Hello everyone, it is Molly Riversea, and today I wanted to take you through a 2-day flatwork and jumping clinic with Isabell Silverdawn that is being hosted by our barn here at the Cosmic Equestrian Center. Isabell is kind of a big deal and a very well-known name around the eventing world.
2 to go, 1 to go.
As a Jorvik and Olympian eventing medalist, Isabell has spent her career pushing the limits of horse riding and helping other riders improve their skills. You may be wondering, what even is a clinic? It's an event that's taught by a professional rider to educate about a specific area of horse riding, and people are coming in from all areas of Jorvik to take part. It's Flatwork Day, the arena is freshly tractored and just in the nick of time because people are just now starting to roll in. Now it's time for me to get my horse Monty ready and looking professional because goodness knows he's probably made a disaster of himself. Oops, you caught me. I'm supposed to be getting Monty ready for the clinic, but then I discovered Life Makeover's adorable digital pets, and now I'm a little distracted. I'm thrilled to be partnering with Life Makeover in this video. In this captivating simulation game, you can customize your virtual image, build your dream house, and now raise adorable digital pets. As someone who was an animal-obsessed kid, still am, and way into pet simulators, this feels like the game I've been waiting for since elementary school. Who wouldn't want to raise their own adorable digital pets? And that is exactly what Life Makeover has brought to the table. With their new pet feature, you can create your very own unique pet family and customize more than 50 features so you can create your perfect companion. From the fur color to the eye shape to the toe pads, you can make your pet truly one of a kind. I recently created my own dog. I customized her features from her fluffy coat to her adorable little nose. You can even have real life interactions with pets like feeding, bathing, playing, and it's so realistic, you can even clean their poop. I've been spending some time with my virtual pet Chloe. The AI-driven interaction system makes it feel like she's really responding to me. The upgraded breeding system allows you to breed unique pet babies so you can build your own little pet family. And not only that, but Life Makeover is a stunning mobile dress-up game that lets you create your own super cute character with tons of customization options. You can design your very own girl from head to toe. This is who I've been playing with, Molly Riversea, but the Life Makeover version. And for a limited time only from June 12th to July 2nd, you can get exclusive access to new 5-star fashion designs like Snow Clad Butterfly and Curtain Banquet. These designs are only available during this time period, so don't miss out. If you want to try out Life Makeover for free, make sure to click the link in the description below. Thank you so much to Life Makeover for sponsoring this video. Okay, now it's really time to get Monty ready for this clinic. He got a full makeover today with a full body clip along with a bridle path clip where I just nearly took a chunk of his mane. I then neatened up his legs and trimmed his fetlocks because they can get a bit feathery. I also put some grooming spray on him to give him a shine as well as hoof oil to darken his hooves. I ended up having some more time, so I decided to braid his tail hunt style as well. Then I got a bit carried away and put his little mane in these cute stubby braids. And to finish it off, I also put some fly spray on him because it was a hot, humid day and the flies were out to play. Can we appreciate the rhyme? Anyways, after Monty's spa moment, he was a fire-breathing dragon with his snorts because he'd just been clipped, so he was a little naked. So to get some of that freshness out before the clinic, I gave him a warm-up on the lunge line. Thank goodness I did because he was a bit of a madman out there. I was just thankful he had gotten all of that out before we were at the clinic, and I was also hopeful that he had gotten all of that out before we were at the clinic. I then put Monty back in his stall and I had some time to kill. This particular clinic was broken up into 2 groups, one for our amateur riders and another for our more advanced riders, which is the group Monty and I would be in. So a few others and I decided to sit in on the amateur group. It was pretty inspiring to see that just in that short time, you could see a visible difference in their riding. There was a short break in the day between groups, so I decided to get a head start, get ready. I first cleaned my saddle, gave it a little bit of a polish with some conditioner and leather oil. Then I got Monty and got him ready in his freshly cleaned tack. I washed his saddle pads and everything just so he'd be looking very professional out there. I got to the ring early before the warm-up time just so I could work with him without the chaos of everyone all around. He definitely had a spring in his step, but when Monty gets fresh, he's still pretty mild and respectful of the bit. I like to say that Monty's strong is like Buggy's soft. We're working on it. Anyways, I did some transitions and things, exercises he's good at, boost his confidence, get his mind more focused so we could put that energy into something productive. Once he was feeling more settled, we wandered around on a loose rein until it was time for our group to start, and people started trickling in soon enough. Isabell had us begin with a gentle warm-up to get us moving, which included walk, trot, and canter transitions, as well as some simple figures such as serpentines and circles. She spoke to us as we went along about the importance of a good warm-up and how it sets you up for the rest of your ride, and how this one is preparing us for the more challenging exercises to come. Then we kicked things off with our very first exercise, which was just some basic figure eights, first around cones and then she took them away, just to help us improve our horse's suppleness and flexibility by getting them to bend and change directions quickly. Isabell pointed out that Monty was kind of overturning, and to correct him, I put my inside leg on him to kind of pick him up, get him straighter, and really use both my legs to keep that straightness. Fun little tidbit here, Monty actually started his riding career off as a polo pony, which explains why he is so agile, but also explains why he has a tendency to overturn. When you're playing polo, you want a horse that's going to turn on a dime with a lot of maneuverability, and while that was a short time in his life, it still has an effect on the way he rides today. Then we played a fun game where we all got on the rail, Isabell would call out a gate, and whoever was the last to transition was out, kind of like a horsey red light, green light. We did a few rounds of this, and Monty and I actually stayed the longest for one of the rounds, so proud horse mom moment. After that, we did some side pass work. Monty was getting a little stiff here. He can sure swivel on a dime, but when it comes to lateral work, that is less so his forte. Isabell noticed and had us do something else for a bit because he was getting a little flustered, so instead we did a lot of haunch and forehand turns, and then when we came back to side passing, he put those pieces together and gave me a really lovely side pass. It was time to do some more suppleness exercises, but we practiced doing some rein back transitions from canter to trot, really emphasizing smoothness. She had us concentrate on that exact point where the transition occurs so it feels as seamless as possible. Monty had no problem with this. Until he did, and he started anticipating what I was doing. So to throw him a few curveballs, I started doing some upward transitions, and she also had me throw in a few halts into the mix as well, just to keep him on his toes. After that, we moved on to something that would give us a bit more of a challenge, and here's where Monty showed off his super cool skill. You'll see in just a second. So we started working on trying a counter canter, which is a dressage move where you canter your horse on the opposite lead from the way he's traveling. It's as challenging as it sounds. So as we started to get into that counter canter, I could feel Monty getting a little bit hesitant. At first, he was doing a great job of picking up on that cue, changing directions, and actually keeping that lead. Felt a bit awkward, but he's got a great sense of balance and coordination. As we went on, I started to notice him get a bit more distracted and uncertain, and by that third or fourth repetition, Monty was starting to get really flustered, and it was clear he was getting overwhelmed. I could feel him getting more and more anxious, and I knew we were heading for trouble. And then it happened. Monty reared up on me, kind of a baby rear. It was a bit of a shock, to be honest. I wasn't expecting it at all. After all, he has never reared with me before. I guess I shouldn't have clipped him the day of a clinic. Anyways, guess I had to learn that lesson the hard way. So we took a break, regrouped. I decided to try again a little later, and this time Monty did a much better job. He was still a bit hesitant, but he was able to focus and do the exercise really well. Even our most experienced horses can get overwhelmed or flustered sometimes, especially when they've just been clipped, and that's okay. It's all part of the learning process. When the clinic was wrapping up, Isabell went around and gave everyone some individual key takeaways. And that wrapped up day one of our clinic.
I've climbed the mountains in Montana.
Monty hadn't gotten very sweaty, so I just set him free for the rest of the evening out in the pasture. He obviously hadn't gotten too tired because he immediately took off zooming since he was so fresh today, and since it was such a lovely day, I decided to just have the horses stay out through the night. It's so good for their mental and physical health.
In Minnesota, fell apart south of Salt Lake.
Just like that, it was time for round 2 with the jumping phase of the clinic. I was super excited to start the day. I grabbed Monty in from the field, and when I was walking him up to the barn, I noticed he was taking some missteps. So I checked his leg for swelling, but when I got down to his hoof, I realized that the problem was he was missing a shoe. I was really bummed out because the farrier wouldn't be able to make it out in time, and my other horses aren't quite advanced enough for this particular clinic, so I was just going to have to withdraw. Until I called Isabell and the unexpected happened.
You know what? I can offer up my horse Nova for you to jump today.
Wow, that is a generous offer. I mean, are you sure? I don't want to cause too much trouble for you.
Yeah, you're a beautiful rider, and she rides quite like Monty, so I think she'd be perfect for you.
You heard it here, folks. Isabell Silverdawn very generously offered up her own horse, Nova, that she literally rode in the Olympics. She is this stunning Dutch warmblood. I was so honored to even have the opportunity to sit on this horse, not to mention take her through a jump course. And speaking of, our jump course today would be starting off over a yellow vertical and then take a line to this green vertical over here. After that, we have a short ride up to this combination that is a 3-stride, and then we do a little roll back to this other green vertical, another really tricky line up to this next jump, and then you take a longer line up to this bending combination over here, and that is the final jump. Not an easy course, but only 8 jumps. After Isabell had us do a nice long group warm-up where I definitely got the feel of Nova, she gave us a really in-depth talk about the course we're going through today. We had the first person go. I felt so bad. This girl immediately got lost in the course after the 3-stride combination. No one wants to be that person, but we've all been there before. She had some turbulence, but she did end up getting through it. We all gave her some cheers of support to hopefully make her feel better after that last jump. She actually re-explained the course to us after that, just to make sure we all got it down, which we definitely did because no one wants to make that same mistake again. Then we had some more people go.
just to find somewhere that finally feels like home.
Then we had a bit of an incident. Someone actually fell off during the course, but thank goodness she was okay. Happens to the best of us. Not exactly sure what Isabell said to her, but it must have been something good because after a moment she literally hopped back on and finished the course. We all gave her a huge round of applause because it's scary when that happens and it's definitely a confidence knock, but she got back on and finished the course. Sooner than later, it was Nova and I's turn, and my nerves were bubbling in my stomach. I did a warm-up circle with her just to collect her up a bit, and I had a nice tight contact on the reins. She was a powerhouse, so I just wanted to make sure I had that control. But I ended up holding her back, which is why we knocked a pull over that. So we went over it again, recircled, regrouped, and then through this next combination, she was super forward, and I gave her a bit more rein. After the rollback jump, the next approach was a little tricky, but we ended up making it over with a little bit of a chip in, and coming up to that last combination is when things really came together. My lines weren't exactly straight on, but we made it through and nobody died. I got to talk about how I needed to give her a little bit more rein and not hold her back as much because she knows her job, and even though she feels like a powerhouse, she knows what to do with that energy. So I went through the part where I knocked the rail again, and this time we had a lot better impulsion going over the jump, and our bendy line was a lot nicer. And we even managed to get a 2-stride in at the 3-stride, which is insane. She is just such a powerhouse. We did it a couple times. It's just crazy how much scope this horse has. Like, she was flying over the jumps. Super fun to ride. Isabell was a lot happier with that, so she wanted me to go through the course just once more to kind of bring it all together. So I started her off with a bit more distance to the jump this time, just to give her that freedom of rein, and she did so much better. She was able to really extend and fly through the jump. She really saved me a couple times when I didn't have the best lines. And again, she got a 2-stride in the 3-stride combination, which she definitely picks up on those straightaways. We had a nice little rollback. We came up to this other awkward angled jump a lot better this time with a lot more impulsion, so we were able to get over it a lot better. And my lines were a bit straighter this time, so we weren't on like the edge of the jump. But I was really happy with that. She is just an absolute powerhouse of a horse, and she listened super well. I definitely understand why this horse is an Olympic medalist, because she knows how to be quick over those fences and she's got the longest reaching strides. And Isabell was like my personal cheerleader. I think she was just really excited to be watching someone on her own horse. When we were finished for the day, Isabell had a long talk to us, each individually and as a group. For me, she basically told me to not hold back as much and really move forward, because sometimes I sit back too much, take up too much contact on their face, and then we don't have enough impulsion to go over, or we chip in a stride. So it's really been a good learning process for me to trust myself and my horse, and then we'll really be competitive out there on a show jumping course. The horses all got way sweatier today, so we had a long, like 20-minute cool down. We were all just chatting about the clinic, and I could not stop talking about how in shock I still was about being able to ride Isabell's horse. To be able to have an Olympian at my home barn and get such a personal, valuable instruction was incredibly helpful to my riding, of course. And then to be able to ride such a well-versed horse with very fancy buttons like Nova, that was an unforgettable experience. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed and learned lots along with me. Subscribe to be part of our little barn family. Thanks for watching, everyone!